So with me now is JD Johnson, who is Vice President of Business Development at GM Defense. JD, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great, Sam. Thanks for inviting us.
I'm glad to hear it. So GM Defense made its debut at Eurosatory 2 years ago, the previous iteration. What has changed for the company in that time?
We've been busy, and we enjoyed Eurosatory so much we decided we had to come back. What we've brought back this year are 3 vehicles. The first vehicle is a completely integrated armored escort vehicle and VIP vehicle for diplomats and for security forces. That's in the GM Defense booth, and we're happy to talk about that there and make sure that those who might need that kind of capability have access to it. We also brought back, though, the infantry squad vehicle. We had the infantry squad vehicle at Eurosatory last time. Since that time, we've developed additional variants. The original variant, which was a troop carrier, is in our friends booth at Michelin, so people can see it this year. We've also brought a utility version, which can still carry 5 passengers, but has a significant cargo capability for mission systems. That's in the Thales booth for people to be able to see.
Yeah, and they're quite light mobile vehicles, right? They're designed to move
Very
around
much so.
quickly.
They were designed originally and asked to be designed to be parachutable, airdrop. They're small enough to fit inside most helicopters, cargo helicopters. In particular, were designed to fit inside the CH-47. They're very light, so they could be slung load even at hot, so very hot temperatures and high altitudes.
Yeah, that's a difficult capability to meet there in a small package. And what kind of feedback is the business getting from the global defense market and government customers? Are you building strong partnerships? Are they helping?
Yeah, that's the beauty of being here at Eurosatory. And not only do you have access to customers and potential customers from around the world, and the outreach has been amazing, but also existing partners and potential future partners, and the ability to compare notes and talk about how combinations of capabilities can make a difference in solving the problems that our military and security force customers have. We are the infantry squad vehicle that the U.S. Army has bought is now being sought by countries from around the world. So we're working those options with them now and expecting to start delivery in the very near future.
Oh, excellent. And is that requiring sort of expansion of capacity? Is it adding to your supply chain complexity, or do you kind of have it within the capabilities of GM right now?
Well, we're very fortunate that our big brother is General Motors, and so they have a capacity for supply chain and manufacturing and design that's really unprecedented. And when you take that commercial capability and apply it to a military setting, military customers, the military market, it's pretty amazing. But we have just recently built a new manufacturing facility. It's about 3 times larger than what we were originally operating out of. And in that facility, we'll build the integrated armored vehicle that's in our booth this year, the VIP, the diplomat protection vehicle, as well as the infantry squad vehicle.
Okay, so some real growth then in the defense sector. And I understand sort of as part of General Motors, you have a leading role to play in the electrification of armored vehicles, which, you know, as we've discussed several times throughout the week, it brings huge benefits. What can you tell us about that? Where is the state of play at the moment?
Well, I appreciate you asking. I think anybody who's watching the commercial vehicle market sees that the industry is moving towards electrification. GM is certainly an industry leader in that way. Our job in General Motors Defense is to take that investment, that significant investment, in everything from autonomy to battery electrification to connected vehicles, and adapt it as necessary for the military. So for the military, a hybrid solution is the best solution because it takes advantage not only of this new cutting-edge technology and the advantages that it brings, but it also allows the military forces to continue to use the logistics infrastructure they've already invested in. Most militaries are invested in diesel of some sort, So the hybrid vehicles we're building take diesel, convert it into electric energy. The advantages to electrification on the battlefield are known well to every military force out there. It's very quiet. It provides energy for days, for sensors, for weapon systems, for communications, and it can offboard energy. Vehicles have traditionally and historically been energy consumers, and it takes a lot of effort to bring that diesel, gasoline, etc. forward. Now, hybrid electric vehicles export power for command and control, for medical support, for logistics, and then finally, you won't find a soldier out there nowadays that doesn't have all kinds of electrical kit, and they are required to carry a lot of batteries to be able to support that. Having a vehicle with you that can export power keeps those systems charged. It keeps the soldiers optimized for the fight.
I'm reminded of, there's a figure somewhere of the cost of getting a gallon of diesel to the front line in Afghanistan and Iraq, and you think about that and the cost savings there are. But I'm also, thinking currently of Eurosatory. If you walk around, there's not really a light vehicle here that's not carrying some form of remote weapon station or jammer or expected to carry advanced battle management systems. So you can see how that power need has really developed from sort of the previous paradigm of these vehicles, right?
No, it's absolutely true. And because General Motors has invested so much money in battery chemistries and battery factories, we're able to drive down the cost of batteries at the same time investing in future chemistries to make the batteries more effective, more powerful, but lighter weight. So continuous improvement towards systems that best support soldiers.
And it's definitely going that way, right? We sort of have to in defense. There's not much choice.
No, I don't think there is. The important aspect is how do you cut down on the fuel that has to be brought forward? Yeah. You just commented on the cost of doing it, and that cost in our most recent conflicts is heavily a human cost. There are people driving trucks trying to move fuel. Fuel is not easily moved or very well moved by air, and those people are very at risk to interdiction as they try to bring that fuel forward. So the more you can provide power forward where you're operating, take it with you, the better off you're going to be. You're going to see technologies in the very near future like hydrogen fuel cells, hydrogen being the most prevalent element in the world, the most abundant, and can be created at the point of need. Pretty tough to drill for oil at the point of need, but you can create hydrogen there and thereby have these fuel sources.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting developments on the horizon. What is available from GM Defense in terms of electrification? Is there a company perspective on this of retrofitting vehicles, or do you see it as new builds?
We're focused primarily on new builds because the nature of the technology that exists in an internal combustion engine requires a lot of removal. The trade space is not always there. We are, though, looking at the ability to bring hybrid electric capabilities even to combat vehicles, to give them the power to operate, the advantages that I just spoke about, and in some cases there are opportunities to retrofit.
Okay, excellent. And so I suppose it would be great at this point to move on to a bit of a discussion about supply chains. You've already touched on the great relationship you have with General Motors and how that helps provide capacity. Do you draw on the supply chains of General Motors as well, or do you have to have your own independently verified ones for your government customers?
Well, we'll start with the infantry squad vehicle. The infantry squad vehicle was derived from a Chevy Colorado pickup truck.
Okay.
It's actually 90% commercial. So we've done the things necessary to modify it for military use. But when you think about 90% commercial based on a Chevy Colorado, with a worldwide footprint of dealers and distributors, the vast majority of that capability is almost relatively locally available. But certainly for those things that are bespoke, to give it that military capability, we support that through ourselves and our partners worldwide. So that access to capability is in many cases as easy as access to a GM dealership.
I like it. It's a good way to think of it. And I think that design principle as well of using what you have is valuable in the current situation, right?
Well, if you think about the investment that GM makes in any product that they roll out to the consumer, whether it's internal combustion engine, which is an amazing technology in itself, more fuel efficient every day, with the various capabilities, and then you think about the new electric capabilities, that's billions of dollars of investment. We don't have to spend that money. GM has spent it. We spend our money on adapting that equipment for military use. So there's an opportunity to make the dollar go much further, to take advantage of the very cutting edge but proven technology and give the military what they need to be successful in their missions.
I think there's some really important lessons in there that we should definitely unpack at some point. I think making the most of what you got is a really good lesson. So JD, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much for your input. I hope you have a great show.
Sam, we're having a great show. Thanks for having me, and thanks to the people listening. We look forward to seeing you at the booth.
Definitely, I'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you.